Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 362 of the Hoots podcast on this Thursday, May 25th, 2023. It's yours truly, the nefarious brother Adam, aka Joshie Lopez. Hope each and every single one of you are having a spectacular day. I am recording for the final time in the Good Brothers studio. By the way, I'm gonna need some suggestions for the new recording room once I get moved out. Yeah, man. This week, but the next time you hear a show, if we do a video recording, whatever, I'll be in a new location. So no more bricks, no more bad lighting, I guess. Nah, man, it's been a really reflective type of week in a good way. There's been so many blessings that have come and gone through my experience, not only in this apartment, but this used to be my bedroom. That where I'm recording used to be the bedroom when my dad had this original apartment. He set it up with my Uncle Noel. They did a great job with everything that came with this apartment. I got very lucky, but I took a lot of pride keeping this thing afloat and being responsible, and just having that first opportunity to have your first apartment. Yeah, it comes from family. It's not like I did not put the work into it. It wasn't any shortcuts or anything like that. It's part of life. We all go through transitions, and I made the most out of this, and I could say without a shadow of doubt, this experience for the last 2.5 years since I moved out from my original home, it's been probably the biggest blessing in my entire life. And I just want to say thanks to my uncle Noel and my dad, especially for the opportunity to have this place. And this place has been very special for me. Like, even before I moved in here, there's been a lot of things that have gone on in this particular YouTube channel that you're listening and watching right now, where we did a lot of the original episodes of the Sports Drive, which was my main line sports show with the Snowman and the crew. We did that for many years. A lot of the original episodes of the Hoots podcast was recorded in this room with Adam Daly. Fun times. I wouldn't trade those days for any time period like that. I had a lot of blasts, some late night recording sessions on the Pipe Bomb back in the day when I was on the New Age Insiders Network, and it's just a different vibe being here. But this is gonna be gone for me this eternally next weekend, and I'm just very excited. And there's been so much going on this year. I've been kind of blindsided to take multiple jabs to my jaw, and just blindsided shots of professionally and stuff that's coming when you least expected. And this has been one of the great experiences in my life where I'm being tested professionally and mentally. And this is a really good reminder that this is going to come. This is going to happen in all our lives at a certain point. And, just when you think you're at the bottom of the totem pole of what you do professionally, and it starts messing and fucking with your head and how you feel about yourself, how you go about your business. You start questioning, am I doing something wrong? Am I going about my business the wrong way? All these things come to you. It's just part of life. I'm not a perfect human being. Like I always mentioned before, for those who don't know me, my biggest enemy is self-doubt. And I don't run or hide from that. I own that fact, and I don't mention the stuff I mention out of sympathy. I don't need sympathy from anybody. I'm just open and direct. Like, I really am an open book, and I really have nothing to hide from anybody. And all I ever ask for people is just to take me as I am and have mercy. That's all I could ask, have mercy. I'm very grateful for the things I've been able to accomplish in this apartment, especially in this room, and the things we've been able to accomplish on this show because of the opportunities that have been provided to be in this apartment in the first place. And I'm going to miss it. Now, I'm not moving out of state. I'm very blessed that I'm going to be moving in by my Willis house on the west side. this coming Wednesday, and I'm very excited for that. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm just very excited to see what that chapter of my life is gonna look like, and it's gonna be a lot similar to what I had here. And I think really the biggest blessing that I got out of this experience, of especially the apartment side of being in this complex here, is really channeling into my spiritual faith, and reconnecting with myself from a mental point of view and emotional point of view. I did a lot of healing in here, a lot. Not even just stuff from recent years, just like a lot of demons from my childhood that I kept in over the years. A lot of that's been like washed away since I moved out here. And there's just been a lot of great internal things that have come along from this process. And I don't hide for the fact that I enjoy my peace and I value my time and energy. And at times, from how I go about my business, some people may think I'm just like lonely and don't want to talk to people or whatever. It's really not the case. I could talk to the cows come. I wouldn't have a podcast. I wouldn't have the balls or the gumption to do something like this if I was unable to be a decent at best communicator. I own my shyness at times. I wouldn't say I put walls up or anything like that, but all this experience of living here, doing the shows and stuff like that, that's really brought out a lot of good things and good character traits out of myself. I'm not gonna run and hide from that. I own that fact, and that it was a good challenge. Like I started finishing up broadcasting school by the time I got more things situated over here and before I moved out here and stuff like that. And I got to accomplish a lot of things with the transcripts at this place. It's a lot of memories, man. It's like, if I think about it, since high school, I think, well, the first I recall being here is at least 8 or 7 years ago. Because I said before, the original studio was my bedroom. Now here we are 7 to 8 years later. So for the last 7 to 8 years, I really have grown a lot and came out internally to you guys. I'm me, man. I'm a good dude. And I've stumbled upon a industry that a lot of people thought I would never be good at. And I took the biggest risk in my life into becoming a broadcaster. And I gotta say, humbly speaking, I'm very proud of the fact that each week I could come on here and provide to each and every single one of you one of the best damn professional wrestling podcasts in the world. And having places like this, having my dad's support throughout this entire process, especially with me being the broadcaster and stuff like that, it's really something I cannot be more grateful for. He's really been my number one supporter out of everybody when it comes to like what I do like professionally and the work ethic with the articles and all that stuff. So it's been a fun ride, man. And I really just wanted to take this week and be more on a reflective point of view than being sad about it. Nothing bad's gonna come out of this. I'm actually really excited for what's to come next week and future stuff with the studio. It's good. I'm gonna have a new recording room, and it's gonna look a lot different from what we have here. And I'm having ideas of what I want it to look like. We got more room. I think we're gonna deal less with the lighting issues, but besides that, it's good to have a different look. It's gonna have a different vibe. But I'm really excited, gonna make up for lost time, getting to see more of my Wella and Wella more, which is really good. My Titi Lucy and my Theo Jose, who live on the top upstairs of the house that I'm moving into. This is a building that I've been to a gazillion times since I was a kid. I know the area well, and it's good. It's good to come by family. Even though I'm getting the collective boot out of this apartment. But in reality, I'm kind of upgrading in some ways. And despite, me losing my job and all this stuff going on right now to the point where I have to move out, all that shit to the side, I'm really upgrading in a lot of ways. And this is going to be a nice transitional period for me to, again, do what I did when I first moved in here and to reevaluate a lot of things and how I go about my business and just get better at my craft, and the great thing is that I have a great support system. I can't go out a day without seeing people from my family, especially those who watch these videos and whatever on Facebook and stuff. They always find out a way to like or share the stuff that I do, and that really means a lot to me. So I'm very fortunate for the support system I have, not only for everybody who checks out the shows and the good brothers who come on air or not and on Twitter, but especially my family who support the show and support the fact what I'm doing and don't look down on me because it's not like some 9-to-5 job where I'm getting $40,000, but I'm like a mental case and I just can't stand myself, it's just really, really cool, man. We got a comment here from Sam. Sam says here, you have our spirit no matter where you go, what you do. Oos, wish I could be on with you tonight. Have a kick-ass show. Love you, brother, man. Appreciate you. Sam's been killing it over the last couple weeks. Sam will definitely be more feature of this podcast as the months go by. Again, another great thing about this experience of doing podcasting and broadcasting in general for the last 10 years is the people I've met in this process, like Sam. And I appreciate the brotherhood, man, and I appreciate you saying that. It really means a lot to me, my man. So, there's a lot of stuff to be excited for. The show's not going anywhere. I ain't done. We got a lot of stuff to do. We got to reach at least 400 episodes, right? I got to make sure that I'm going up. Sooner or later, I'll get my job back. I'll get back to doing my transcripts. I'm excited for that. And, all really I'm thinking about right now is just being present and just living for now. Really, all I can control is just my mindset and just keeping things in perspective and being it one day at a time. Even though I'm not hired, even though I'm not where I want to be professionally, all that. I know damn well how good I am at this shit. I know how good I am in my craft, and I know how much I care and the time I put into this stuff. And I know that a blessing will come down the road. I'm not looking for a handout. I'm not looking for sympathy. I want my job back. And when I do get my job back, I'm not looking back. I'm not turning another direction. I'm going to get back on track and get this shit back on track. And I appreciate the support for the show. You can check out the podcast each and every single week here on YouTube. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you're a first-time watcher. Make sure to check us out on Spotify as well. You can follow me on Twitter at the Hoots Podcast. And Instagram, I'm at Josh Lopez Media as well. But all in all, man, like this is all a transitional period, man. Like I really don't know where I'm going to be in a year now or 2 years now or 5 years from now. All I know is the sky's the limit and we're just going up this trajectory. I'm not taking 5 more steps back. I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm going to enjoy my time with my dad's side of the family and just be happy. That's really what I care about at this point, is my happiness and doing this in my career. Nothing else really matters. I'll have my time where I earn my time to finally move out of Chicago and really start the next chapter of my life. But in the meantime, I'm just here to just have a good time, man. I really am. There's really nothing really to worry that concerns me or is on my priority list anymore besides doing what I can to get my job back, take my skills to the next level, and just being happy and having my faith. And that's really where my focus is at right now. So I didn't want to go on a long tirade. I originally wanted to do this at the end of the show, but I thought it'd just be better just to get the elephant, address the elephant in the room, and I'm not talking about myself. So really, what I want to say is that I've had a lot of great memories in this studio, in this apartment especially, and I'm gonna miss it. So, with that being said, we got a fun show in tap for you tonight, where I'm gonna be doing a lot of our regular features like the back porch Q&A. We got the predictions I gotta do tonight for Night of Champions in WWE Battleground. It's a busy pay-per-view weekend ahead of us. And of course, we got AEW Double or Nothing coming up on Sunday as well. A brutal a brutal card and a pay-per-view that's taking place in Las Vegas that I could give absolutely two shits about, to be honest with you. Really quick, let me check something really quick if I got myself situated here on Facebook. All right, it's working here. The audio works fine on Facebook. I think we have the show streaming live right now on Facebook, Twitter. No, not Twitter. We have Facebook, YouTube, and then Twitch as well. Yeah, we're on Twitch, by the way. Make sure to follow us. Maybe we'll do some more content at Twitch. I got like a lot of different ideas of stuff that I want to do once I move. You know what I mean? When I get to the new recording room, and who knows, we could finally get away. If we could, really a lot of things with content creation now is like you have to have a certain amount of like subscribers and stuff like that to get paid and compensated. So like I would need 1,000 subscribers on YouTube to become a YouTube partner and get money from YouTube on that accord, you know what I mean? Or 100,000 subscribers. I think it's something like that, right? It's 100,000 to get like the big money. Spotify, I mentioned before, we need 100 unique Spotify listeners on Spotify to qualify for ambassador ads that helps us get money from the audio version of the show. So I have a lot of things to accomplish, and we're going to pump out a lot more content as the weeks go by. And once I'm all situated in my new place, it's going to be a lot of fun. But first, I want to try a little something different and give you a look at a song I've been listening to over the last couple of days. It's a damn good song. Sing a little bit for you, actually. All right, let's do this. This goes out to flaky women. Here you go. I don't miss you, I just fantasize about you being someone who loves me. It's not fair to anybody, but I just can't get you off of my mind. I don't miss you, I just fantasize about you being someone who loves me. I can't help it how I dream it is you painted on the back of my eyes. I don't miss you, I just think about you all the time. No, I'm kidding. It's one of the trolls the people right there. All right, let's start it off with the back porch Q&A session. Let me grab a swig of water here, actually. Just give me 1 second. Okay, time for the back porch Q&A session. Hubba. Let's see what we got here. Start off with the good brother Chris Zaletta at XTeenZaletta24X on the Twitter. Throw up the X, ladies and gentlemen. I would do it right now, but my microphone's been kind of flimsy over the last couple days, and I just rather just make sure we don't have any technical difficulties here. All right. Thoughts on Aussie Open being all elite? Hope this doesn't lead to Ospreay joining in the year. Well, I hate to break it to you and everybody that's watching and listening to this. Really, at the end of the day, New Japan is all elite, and that's just what it is. New Japan kowtows to AEW. Since they've been having this working relationship. And I get it from a businessman point. You want a big company with big TV distribution to bring eyes to your promotion. But New Japan is really just taking playing second fiddle to AEW. So whether you believe it or not, even though New Japan is a standalone company in Japan, but basically when it comes to New Japan wrestlers in the US, all of them are elite. Tanahashi's elite. What? Okada's elite. What? Well, they're actually elite performers. That's another topic for another time. But you get my point. Basically, New Japan is all elite. And I would not be surprised if Will Ospreay shows up in AEW more frequently. It's not like he hasn't been there. He's had a lot of matches. He's lost random matches on Dynamite and Rampage. It's just something that we have to be on the lookout for. And it's just unfortunate because I think collectively as a promotion and their style of wrestling, I think New Japan is superior to AEW. But hey, man, New Japan wants to expand to the U.S. I understand that, but basically being Tony Khan's bitch along the way is not a good look. But that's just my opinion. Which match are you looking forward to the most at Night of Champions? I am looking forward to the most the World Heavyweight Championship match with Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. I think that's going to be awesome. And I'm also intrigued to see what's going to go down with the Tribal Chief and Solo in that tag team title match. By the way, speaking of the Tribal Chief, not only acknowledge him, it's his birthday today. So let's throw the ones up for the Tribal Chief. All right, happy birthday, Oos. Pretty cool. Roman Reigns' birthday today. Celebrating 1,000 days. He is indeed the best in the world. What match are you most looking forward to at Battleground? Outside of the main event, I'm going to go with Dragunov and Dijak. That match is going to be absolutely insane. What match will be a highlight at Double or Nothing? Do I have to pick one? It sure as hell ain't going to be Anarchy in Arena. That's a no shot. I'm going to go for shits and giggles. I'm going to go with Adam Cole and Chris Jericho. And I'm really luckily saying that because I don't want to put Chris Jericho over at all. But I'll give you an answer, and I'm an Adam Cole fan. Baby! What would you rate this past Monday Night Raw? I thought it was a good show. I'm not really into star ratings. I'm sorry. I know I'm a wrestling fan. It's blasphemous to say that you're not into star ratings. In the 10 years of doing podcasting and transcripts and stuff like that, I've always been against doing the star ratings and stuff like that. Like, I see people giving out match ratings for shows on the wrestling shows on TV. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, who gives? It's so weird. Like, you have these intricate marks who try to act like they're wrestling experts and talk about heels, baby faces, using all the terms and stuff like that. I'm not going to come here and be a hypocrite. I use those terms too, but I'm not going to come in here and act like I'm the smartest person in the room, you know? I go off of what I see and from my time covering the industry, and I don't look at it as a mark anymore. So I don't care what the difference is of a 5-star match to a 3 3/4 star match, whatever the hell that means. And especially when you're tweeting it, I think it's weird that you're saying, like, you're pointing out, oh, these two have great in-ring psychology and it's fluid and stuff like that. Like, you're not a wrestler. Stop insulting our intelligence. And especially those who do these live YouTube reaction shows while Raw is on, and these guys profess that they're experts at booking. No, you're not. You're not a booker. You've never been a booker. Know your role and shut your mouth. Let's go on to the next question. Thoughts on Chris Bay and Chris Bay and Ace Austin against Subculture at Under Siege. I forgot, for Impact as a pay-per-view tomorrow night on Friday. I would be upset right now, but I remember I don't have. Look, I think it's going to be a good match. I'm very familiar with Subculture due to their run in NXT UK. I miss NXT UK. Can we bring it back? I'm very, very familiar with NXT UK guys, especially Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews, and they'll put on a very good match. They're very similar in their in-ring style to a lot of people in Impact Wrestling. I like the competitive nature to Impact, but in a lot of ways, their match layouts look a lot similar in a lot of ways, and it's not a good thing. I can appreciate good competitive matches but if all the matches on the same show look the same, that's a problem. Like, there's no difference from a Motor City Machine Guns match from Subculture or Chris Bay and Ace Austin. It's just a lot. It's an industry-wide issue. I'm not just picking on Impact. This happens on a lot of companies too. A lot of matches these days look way too similar, and let's try to pop the crowd with counter wrestling when you're not giving the crowd any time to digest what are you doing as the match goes on. That's just the observation from my deal. And I get it, we're in the ADHD era of professional wrestling where people's attention spans are all over the fucking place, but we need to scale back a bit on the wrestling that we're seeing right now. And the last thing we need is another show on a Saturday night. Anyways, any title changes at Night of Champions? Nope. Thoughts on Carmelo Anthony's career? Very good career. I thought at times he was overrated, but I appreciate the fact he's a basketball player that really stood out of the drama. He has very good taste in waterfalls. Shout out to Lala. Seems like a good dude. I don't know him personally, obviously. There was a rumor that one time where he was supposed to come to the Bulls. Remember when it was Derrick Rose, Paul Gasol, and Joe Noah was still on the team, and Jimmy Butler was coming up on the rise? There was this rumor going around that Carmelo Anthony could have been a Bull coming for free agency. They brought him in. They had a logo of Carmelo Anthony in front of the United Center that he was supposed to be a Bull. Ended up going to the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks. Go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go. Hey, you want to know my opinion on the Knicks? In the words of the Snowman and everybody else, go the fuck home and stay the fuck home. Yeah, I'm not a Knicks fan, and yeah, they could kick rocks. Anyways, let's move on here. Thank you for the question this week, Chris. You killed it as always. Let's go to the good brother Mike at Main Event Swerve. He says, "What up, Boost? I finally made it in the end of the school year. Congratulations, and I'm glad to be done. Looking forward to listening to the show this week without interruption. Here are some back porch questions for you. Which show are you most excited for? Night of Champions or NXT Battleground?" That's a good question. I think both cards are very good. I'm more intrigued for Night of Champions because I want to see who's going to be the World Heavyweight Champion, and I just think there's if you really think about it, when it comes to these premium live events that take place at Saudi Arabia, this is probably the most loaded of big-time stars on one particular Saudi Arabia show. And I think Saturday afternoon is going to be a barn burner. I'm kind of glad that I get at least one more pay-per-view to enjoy in this apartment before I moved out. So I am looking forward to Night of Champions, and I'm also excited to check out Battleground. I'm actually going to watch Battleground live instead of Double or Nothing on Sunday. So excited for both events, but for me, I'm going to go with Night of Champions. We normally don't predict SmackDown or Raw, etc., but what are the chances Sheamus could beat Austin Theory on Friday? I guess there's a good chance. I know SmackDown this week was taped, but I really don't care for spoilers, so I really don't know what's going to happen coming up on Friday. But I'm excited for the match, and if it's something like it's a DQ and they have a program with each other, I wouldn't have an issue with that. So I'm not really sure, Mike, but I don't see Sheamus becoming the champion. But hey, I could be proven wrong, right? Also, is Theory getting stale with the crowd as U.S. champion? He seems to get no reaction, not even booing. Was John Cena right on his WrestleMania prophecy? I guess it's just time to tell, you know. There's really, if you really think about what's going on in the past year to where we are right now, a lot of things have gone in a lot of different directions for Austin Theory. Where one moment he's Vince McMahon's protege, then Vince goes away. You had the whole Money in the Bank deal, 2 different runs with the United States Championship. I think this goes back to what I said earlier about the ADHD culture that's going on right now. I'm not here to write the book on the guy. It's too early to tell. He has a lot to things. He has a lot of time to put in more reps, and he has a bright future ahead of him. I don't think we could write the story off of him being stale or him not working, or if John Cena is right and all that. Now, I get it if people don't like the guy personally and they don't buy into his stuff. I mean, that's all their prerogative. But for me, I'm not going to write off a guy. We can't talk about we need new guys and, where's the emphasis on pushing young guys? But when they try to do that, you want to sit on your hands and write off the guy after a year of him having consistent TV time. I get it. Well, we have quick attention spans, but we got to let some stories play out. Who do you think attacked Roxanne Perez on NXT to end Tuesday's program? Good spelling there on program. I like that. I guess you could say Cora Jade if you want to do that. I have a feeling maybe it could be Mandy Rose, who's this anonymous attacker. That's just my idea, epiphany, if you will. But I could be either Cora Jade or Mandy Rose. That would be my pick. Speaking of epiphanies, it's a good segue. Also, it's Tiffany's time to win the title, no? Or will Laya Valkyria win as an experienced wrestler in championships and other promotions? Who do you want to see win? No, I think it's definitely Tiffany's time. She is the total package. I know when I mentioned that, a lot of people be like, oh, so she's the next Lex Luger. Like, I get that was his gimmick and everything, but when it comes to the definition of a total package and what it looks like and what you're looking for a professional wrestler, male or female, she's the real deal. Like, she has it all. She's good in the ring. She can cut promos. The waterfall, we don't need to get into that. That's an episode in itself on that waterfall, but she's good. She's very, very good. And she's bright for her inexperience. And I think with the equity she's had on NXT, it's definitely her time to shine, and I think she will on Sunday. What's next for Fallon Henley, Briggs, and Jensen in your eyes? That's a good question, man. I don't know. I would like to see what a heel run would look for the group as a whole. And I think that would be interesting. I wouldn't say they're getting stale or anything like that. I just want to know what they have in them collectively as a unit, as the heels. They've only been baby faces so far, so who knows? We'll have to see. I know this is a tough call, especially with deep rosters in all WWE brands, but what 5 or 6 wrestlers would you cut from WWE if you really had to? Fuck, that's a hard question. I don't know. I really don't. I could say Dana Brooke, Shanky. It's hard. Plus, for me, I really don't. Here's the deal. I'm not one of those wrestling fans that look into booking, so it's really not on my priority list of what I'm thinking about when it comes to the shows and all that. It's just not. So I really not sure. I just enjoy what I see from the shows, and then I go from there. It's hard. I can't even think about right now who's going to be cut or not. Maybe Los Lotharios, maybe some other people that I'm not mentioning that don't get TV time. Maybe Tozawa. Those are the only ones that could come off the top of my head. And if anybody else who are basically stooges to the dirt sheets, any of those wrestlers that stooge and wind about their creative or whatever to the dirt sheets, they all can go as well. Be honest, did you ever play sports games and betray your team's loyalty a bit? Maybe you trade for a main rival to a Chicago team or play some Madden /2K with Tom Brady's team. Well, maybe this is where I am from, but no, I've never betrayed my team's loyalty on any of the sports video games I played in my life, whether it was baseball, what? Football, why? Basketball, why? Hockey, why? Like, I didn't sign Henrik Zetterberg for the Red Wings and bring him to the Blackhawks on NHL video games. By the way, not only the NHL has the best playoffs in all collective sports, I think NHL has the best video games to play as a sports fan. Playing hockey video games is not for the faint of heart. It's fun, it's competitive, it's hard at times, and it's a blast to play. But you know, like I never had Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback as the Bears. I've never had somebody from the Minnesota Twins come in as a free agent on my White Sox teams. You know, for me, I've always been into like the franchise mode and being a manager and stuff like that. And that's another story for a long time. But I would take a lot of times and be very articulate on who I wanted on my teams and stuff like that. My dad, when I was younger, my dad would bust my chops and be like, "Hey, man, are you gonna play the game or what?" And like, no, I've never betrayed my loyalty or my team's trust because of what's gone down. No, I've never done that. That's a funny question. Next one. Speaking of Chicago, what has been the difference for the White Sox lately in looking better on the field? Are they inspired by Liam Hendriks' amazing comeback or something else? No, I just think they're, controlling what they control. And really, when it comes to baseball, especially this time of year, you really got to like just be cognizant of the fact that, hey, you got to win one series at a time. Like, they're losing right now as I'm recording this, but they have a 4-game series with Detroit this weekend, and you just got to win. They had a really crappy start to the season. I wouldn't be surprised, and I wouldn't blame people who thought, hey, maybe this is the worst team in sports. I wouldn't blame somebody for feeling that, or the worst team in baseball, but slowly over the last couple weeks or so, they're playing good baseball and winning games on the road and winning their series. They rarely ever win in Cleveland, so it was cool to see them win the series in Cleveland the other day. And a lot of these games right now are against divisional opponents, and even though the AL Central is really bad, you can't blame teams on who's on their schedule and what division they're in. That's out of their control. So really, it's got to be about your business, win as much series as you can, and slowly climb back. I mean, they're like 4 or 5 games back away from first place in the Central. They're right there. They just got to be consistent and don't find themselves in where they're in 10-game losing streaks or 6 or 7 consecutive different losing streaks in the span of 3 to 4 weeks and stuff like that. It can't be tallied up losses like that. Like, you don't want to be in an area where you have 60 losses before the All-Star break. There's 162 games in the season. I get that. But just slow and steady. And if they could find a way to get, I don't know, maybe like 45-40 by the All-Star break, I think that'd be a cool deal. But I know Liam has come back, and it's been a really cool story, and I'm happy for him that he's in remission now. But I just think they're just playing collectively better baseball right now. So one series at a time. But the sentiment remains in Chicago, we stinks. All right, let's go to the next question here. For those here watching here, we got a couple questions here left from the Back Porch Q&A session. Um, Here's a question here from Mike. He says David Mills says that he's looking forward to competing for the Texans starting QB job with CJ Stroud. Is that cute, a CLAHN statement, or good enough for CLAHN of the week? I think that's a good delusional statement. Does that make him a CLAHN? No. I think that makes him a good competitor, and the guy believes in himself. And you could understand his position too. Like, even if you don't think he's a good quarterback, it doesn't make him a CLAHN if he feels like he could be a starting quarterback for the team. I say he's delusional, just off his play, but I wouldn't consider him a CLAHN. Speaking of CLAHNs, who wins more games this year? An Aaron Rodgers led Jets team or the brand new Texans? Oh my God. Please don't make that a thing. Unfortunately, it's going to be the Aaron Rodgers led Jets. It's going to be a dog-eat-dog fight out there in the AFC East, but I think the Jets are going to be a good football team this year. I think you're a year or two away, my man Mike, for the brand new Texans. Speaking of CLAHNs, I have another brand new person that's going to be a part of that exclusive club later on in the show. All right, final two questions here. Last few questions here, actually. I see that 58-year-old Sabu debuted on Dynamite last night. So with that, what is the most random, stupid choice for the next wrestler to debut? What would make you laugh or cringe the most? That's a tremendous question. Well, I mean, since it's involving Chris Jericho, I don't know. I mean, what? We're going to have the Sandman pop out. We're going to have... I'm surprised Tommy Dreamer is not more on AEW as he is on Impact, but... we have to understand who we're dealing with, folks. We're dealing with an ECW mark as a booker, and I loved ECW as much as anybody. I appreciate what that promotion did for the industry. I liked what they did because it was unique to them and they had an identity. But as I've been saying since day one, and it's very ironic I'm saying this on the 4-year anniversary of their very first show, their first live event, which was Double or Nothing, May 25th, 2019. This promotion's identity is nothing more than a dirt sheet vanity project. So it could be up in the air. Hell, fucking Simon Dean could pop up on AEW. Whatever his real name in his real life, I don't even know. Stevie Richards could pop up on ECW. Is Too Cold Scorpio still wrestling? I was gonna mention New Jack, but God, speak to him, man. Nothing with Tony Khan and AEW surprises me anymore. Like, I just start laughing just out of embarrassment. Like, fuck, I don't know what's worse. Bringing Nick Gage to your show and having him main event your flagship show in a stupid outlaw mud show match with Chris Jericho, or whatever the hell that was with Sabu the other night. Oh, okay, we gotta grudge you. Let's bring in Sabu out of the fucking nowhere. Bad Bunny has been on a musical roll lately with the collabs in Nintendo Music, the Gorillaz, and others. So that got me thinking, what country star would you like to see him collaborate with? I have 3. Luke Combs, Jason Aldean, and Carrie Underwood. Those are all good picks there. I would go with Morgan Wallen, right? I'll go with I think let's see. We'll do Morgan Wallen. I agree with you on Luke Combs, and then we'll wrap it up with Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs, and just for shits and giggles, let's have him do a song with Kelsey Ballerini. Why not? Or Miranda Lambert. But that is a very, very good question. Lastly, what was the biggest media disaster the Shockmaster's WCW debut, or Ron DeSantis trying to launch a presidential campaign yesterday on Twitter Spaces of all places. As always, keep bringing the fire and passion for the pod. Oos is a great show. I love you, my brother. Thank you so much for saying that. Thank you for the questions this week as well. Mamma mia. Ron DeSantis. Speaking of clowns, I think sooner or later DeSantis will make his way to this segment. I'm not ready to put him there now, but he is definitely a clown. So I'll think about it like this. We'll do Ron DeSantis is a free clown. Let's go with Shockmaster because it's Throwback Thursday. Okay, that'll be my pick. Now I'm doing it by it is a cop-out answer. I'm sorry, Mike, but I have to say it's the Shockmaster. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I did that. Like, I could totally see myself falling through that wall. I could be clumsy at times, but yeah, the Shockmaster, 100%. Like, to have that as a debut, that is just brutal. Not as brutal as the Lakers getting swept by the Nuggets, by the way. How about that? LeBron is overrated. I don't care how many times I have to say it. That dude is overrated. He cannot lace Michael Jordan's shoelaces. On that note, that concludes our edition of the Back Porch Q&A session. As always, I want to thank Chris and Mike for the questions this week. You guys killed it. As always, if you want to participate in a Back Porch Q&A session, all you have to do is hit us up at Twitter at the Hoots Podcast or at the Hoots Podcast at gmail.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for This Week in WWE, right here on Hoots Podcast. Yes, sir. All right, we're back here on the Hoots Podcast. Time to go over quickly a quicker edition of This Week in WWE, as we're going to be making our predictions. No, for the Night of Champions and NXT Battleground coming up this weekend. Two big pay-per-views coming up. Gonna have a lot of fun with this and educate the folks. Let's go through the fantasy booking brain threshold of Brother Adam here, right? That's what you guys are here to listen to. So we'll start off with Night Champions, and then we'll conclude with Battleground. I enjoyed both shows from SmackDown and Raw this week. I just figured since it's just me, I don't want this podcast to drag this week. I just figured we have a quicker edition of the Back Porch Q&A session. This week in WWE. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a long week. Anyways, let's start off with the show in Saudi first. In our first match here, we got Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. By the way, these two ladies killed it on their contract signing on Raw Monday. I thought it's just very good dialogue for both ladies. By the way, I wish Raw would stop going to these rinky-dink sea towns and these different markets they go to. Like, you're going to Raw in Hershey, Pennsylvania. What? Greenville, South Carolina. What? Like, all these blue bumblefuck hick places. Like, stop going to these sea towns for Monday Night Raw, please. You wonder why the crowds are always sitting on your hands. You're going to a crowd that rather make noise at a house show than having a flagship TV. Like, hey, this is probably the biggest thing this dump of a town has as an event throughout the calendar year. All Hershey's known for their freaking chocolate. What else is to do there in Hershey besides leave Hershey? Like, come on. As far as this match is started, this is going to be very good. I'm very excited for this one, but I think in some way this is going to continue. So I have Trish Stratus actually beating Becky Lynch here. So I have Trish winning. Also, I would be surprised if Becky won and Trish still attacked her after the match. We'll have to see how that one plays out. By the way, everybody that gets in their cornflakes about these Saudi Arabia shows, stuck on their narratives. Rhea Ripley and Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley will retain. Bianca Belair against Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. I got Bianca Belair retaining. Gunther against Ali, Chicago's very own, for the Intercontinental Championship. Think this is going to be a good match. I don't think it'll be a squash match, but I got Gunther beating Ali. That should be very good. And then from there, we got Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn against the Bloodline, Roman Reigns, and Solo Sikoa. Now, here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not doing it just because it's his birthday, and I'm not doing it just because I like to see the world burn, especially on wrestling Twitter, because wrestling Twitter is probably one of the worst places on God's green earth. But how about this? How you have this match start off the show? I still have one way or another, regardless of how my fantasy booking idea goes. I had this idea, and one way or another, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will still remain your undisputed tag team champions. But here's a bigger idea that I'm going to throw out there because it really ties in to the marketing of this show. They call it a triple main event, right? You have this one, you got Cody and Brock, and you got Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. So when you look at what's happening with this pay-per-view on Saturday, how about this? You have Kevin Owens, you have the tag match. Start off first. The Usos cost Roman the match. Right? Come forward. Roman Reigns is pissed. He just celebrated, him becoming his tyrant going for 1,000 days. He's upset. He tells Heyman to fix the issue. Cody gets laid out by Brock Lesnar. They have a tie-in. Paul Heyman is doing Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman's dirty work. Then comes to the main event, Seth Rollins and AJ Styles for the World Heavyweight Championship. Due to politics and Paul Heyman stringing things along, Roman Reigns inserts himself into the World Championship match and becomes the triple champion. A triple main event, a triple champion, the tribal chief, Thanos, whatever you want to call him. He brings all the titles home. All of them. Why not? You know what I mean? We're like, why not? I mean, what could go wrong, right? I know Twitter will go on a hissy fit about it, but if it was me, like, just give him all the titles at this point. You're celebrating 1,000 days. You got embarrassed. You open up the show. You lost. And then you find a way for politics. Seth Rollins keeps mentioning Roman Reigns' name, right? So you have them. Oh, man. I have so many fancy book ideas they can do off of that. But I'm just throwing it out there. Don't be surprised if some shenanigans go down. Even though, okay, let's say, for example, Seth Rollins just beats AJ straight up, right? How do we not know that Roman Reigns pulls some strings behind the scenes, comes out after the match, and challenges Seth to a match and beats him there? You never know. I'm just throwing it out there. But one way or another, I still think Kevin and Sami will retain. I think Brock Lesnar will beat Cody Rhodes, and they'll have their final match at Money in the Bank. I think that's my projection. And then I'm very curious to see how they're going to go about this press conference tomorrow, because they really haven't said anything about the Brock and Cody match, whether that's going to be a stipulation match or, Brock Lesnar keeps saying, oh, I just want to fight. I want to fight. Could this be an unsanctioned match? You know what I mean? How that goes, I have no idea. I think Brock will still win, but I'm very curious to see how they go about it at the press conference tomorrow. And then as far as the main event, AJ Styles, man. I understand where you're coming from the interview you did the other day, man, but there's times I don't know, man. I don't know how I would feel, right? I put you in an opportunity right off the bat in your return to qualify for an opportunity to get a new world championship, right? regardless of how you feel about the whole situation, right? Whether you are for or against having two championships, or the fact that Roman Reigns is still having both the WWE and the Universal title, the whole scenario, whether you're a fan of it or not, here's the deal, right? I've said it a zillion times that I'm not for the brand split. Now, even though I'm not for the brand split, that doesn't mean you can't have two world championships. At the same time, we all knew Roman was not going to defend this title at the Saudi show. So AJ comes back right after WrestleMania. Okay, everybody's like, oh, I can't believe they're having SmackDown wrestlers fight for a World Championship at the Saudi show. So Triple H goes out of the way to make the roster that he has on SmackDown feel good for themselves, and you know they're not fighting for scraps, and Austin Theory is the only person that you could feud or challenge for the title, right? So you put AJ Styles in this tournament, he wins. Even before we get to the week of the pay-per-view, you come out and say, okay, yeah, this is a consolation prize. This is a secondary title. Now, you don't need to tell me that it's a secondary title. I said it before that I didn't have an issue with Roman Reigns beating Cody Rhodes because Roman Reigns' title reign was not at a point in my eyes, and I can only speak for me, where his title reign was at a point where I was tired of it, or it was something that needed to be fixed or retooled. What's broke does not need to be fixed. Now, we get to this weird conundrum where, again, an industry-wide issue where all these companies placate to all these little crybabies on Twitter that spent the past prior year whining, bitching, complaining, oh, I can't believe we don't have a Raw championship. I can't believe nobody on the Raw has a chance to fight for a world championship. Oh, Roman's holding the titles hostage. Okay, Triple H tries to throw everybody a bone. Oh, here's the World Heavyweight Championship. Oh, it's a consolation prize. Oh, it's secondary. This is the issue when you let fickle Twitter mess with your product. And this is another conundrum where people talk about, oh, WWE doesn't listen to their fans. And then when they do, it's not enough for them. Oh, it's a consolation prize. Oh, it's secondary. Oh, it doesn't mean the shit. It doesn't mean anything at the end of the day, right? Here's the deal. Excuse me. What's been the saying all the time, right? It's not about who has it. It's not about the title making the man. It's the man making the title. So you have Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. Here we are, AJ. You just came back. You had an unfortunate injury. You reunited your group together. You think you want to get maybe one more chance at a world title run before you hang up the boots. And here we are. You're doing the press interview. Oh, it's a secondary title. It's a consolation prize. How does that make me want to root for you? Why? Because you said something that wrestling Twitter said. You wanted to mention something that will pop the crowd from wrestling Twitter. Wrestling Twitter should not be dictating what's going on your products. I don't give a crap whether it's WWE, AEW, Impact, or New Japan. Stop letting social media dictate your product. Isn't it always been an industry saying that we in the industry tell the stories and guide the direction of what's going on, not the people behind the stands? Isn't that what I always heard? Isn't that I always heard like the more important thing about the business is how many people are having their asses in the seats for watching your shows, not what's going on behind the scenes in booking and creative? You see how the dynamics changed now where, oh, it doesn't matter how much money you're making as a promotion and where you're doing distribution wise. It's not about being a business. It's about okay, what can satisfy the palates of insecure, fickle, ADHD wrestling fans on social media? That's where the conundrum starts with the business. Why are we watching it now? Am I watching the show trying to act like I'm Roger Ebert? Or I'm watching the show for what it is, and if the promotion's doing a good enough job, maybe I want to buy a ticket to go see somebody get their ass kicked. Or, hey, this show's good. I have a reason to watch this at a certain time, but even if I know, hey, I recorded it and this is a priority, this is the thing I want to watch. Do you see where I'm coming with this, guys? Like, the dichotomy of the conversation and the focus of professional wrestling has gone such in the wrong direction over the last 20 years, where we have allowed whining wrestling fans who don't know what they want 1 minute to the next dictate what these promotions are doing. I'm not saying do not listen to your fans, but when you're letting the loud people on social media that represent 10 or 50% of your overall audience dictate how you go about your business, that's just not a good look. And if it makes you the bad promotion, the heel promotion that doesn't do what pallets to cleanses of dirt sheet marks and message board twats, if that makes you the heel promotion, so be it. This business is about making money, not fucking placating to sissy ass marks that don't know what they want at the end of the day. So you have a two prolonged issue here now. So yes, you have this world title for Raw. I'm okay with having 2 world championships. I don't need a bracelet to have 2 world championships. And then the other issue is here, people are looking down on that title only because Cody Rhodes didn't beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And Cody's story's over. He's not going to get a chance to fight against the tribal chief. Even though there's a concept called Money in the Bank where that can fix that whole issue right there. I appreciate the vignettes they've been doing over the last couple weeks with Seth Rollins, because to his point, how you solve an issue, how you make a second world title have more precedence than the other championship. Like Seth Rollins said, his goal is to make sure that you forget about Roman Reigns when it comes to world title matches. Now, it's hard to do that because Roman Reigns is the best wrestler in the world and the best superstar in the world. But to Seth Rollins' point, he's not wrong. The man makes that championship. Again, this is a hot button issue for a lot of people. A lot of people have their takes like, oh, this is stupid. See, this is the example of why WWE doesn't know what they're doing, because they do. These are the same people like, oh, we needed a new world championship on Raw. Oh, here's the new world champion. Oh, it's still not enough for me, damn it. We'll see what happens at Night of Champions. But if it's just a straight up match for me, I think Seth Rollins wins. That's my pick. All right. NXT Battleground. Coming up on Sunday from the Tongass Center in Lowell, Mass, outside of Boston. Big time wrestling market there. There's been a lot of wrestling shows there over the years, right? So, yeah, we'll skim through these really quick. There's only 6 matches on a card, but this one should be a lot of fun. This card is going to be really, really, really good. Give me 1 second as I'm pulling up something here. Just 1 second here, ladies and gentlemen. La dee da, la 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 dee da. All right, cool. I got it. Yeah, we have 6 matches on the show. So we have Gallus against the Creed Brothers for the NXT Tag Team titles. I think the Creed Brothers are going to beat Gallus. I really do. I think the Creed brothers get this one over Gallus. I have Dragunov being Dijak in a last man standing match. We have a triple threat match here, which should be very good. It's Wesley, Tyler Bate, and Joe Gacy for the NXT North American Championship. I think Wesley retains. We'll have to see how that one plays out, but that should be a very good match. Speaking of good matches, this next match here can steal the entire weekend from all the shows. It's Noah and Dar against Dragon Lee. It's for the NXT Heritage Cup Championship. This is a British rounds rule match. So for those who don't know, in British wrestling, especially on NXT UK, they have this concept called British rounds matches. So you have 3-minute intervals, just like a standard boxing match, and you have to have 2 victories, basically, in the best of that time period, or it goes into sudden death. So, yeah, it's gonna be dope. This match is gonna be insane. Noah Dar and Dragon Lee are gonna put on a barn burners. I'm very excited for that match. That's gonna be insane. But I have Noah Dar retaining. Also, we have the finals of the NXT Women's Championship Tournament. I said earlier that Tiffany Stratton will defeat Lion Valkyrie, and she'll be your new NXT Women's Champion. And then our main event, Carmelo Hayes with Trick Williams against the new Braun Breaker, the heel Braun Breaker. I think Carmelo retains. This will be a fun match. But it'll be some scenario where Carmelo will outsmart Braun Breaker. I don't think the feud will end on Sunday, but it's going to be a good match. But I still think Carmelo will walk out of Lowell still your NXT champion. So really quick to recap my picks for Battleground. I got the Creed brothers. I got Dragunov. I got Wesley. I got Noah Dar. I got Tiffany Stratton. And I got Carmelo Hayes. Go check out that Battleground card. It's very, very good. I think it's going to be a very, very good show coming up on Sunday. Speaking of Sunday, there's another event taking place in Las Vegas, Nevada, unfortunately. An event that's going to be #brutal. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for our main event. It's scheduled for one fall with an unlimited time limit. And if you're easily offended, that's a you problem, not a me problem. It's time for another brand new edition of What the Hell is Wrong with AEW. Let's start this off in a 3, a 2, a 1.
Beat your meat, 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 beat your meat.
I'm telling you, my time is right now. Right this minute, 2022. We're living it. My time is now. My time is right. God damn now.
Man, what intensity.
It's time for What the Hell is Wrong with AEW.
What the hell is wrong with AEW? Brought to you by the good folks at Wrestling Observer Newsletter. Thank you very much. Much to the surprise of absolutely nobody, we found out the announcement that's shocking the world, ladies and gentlemen. Did you hear the news? The debut of AEW Collision will take place at the United Center. Yay! June 17, 2023. We have the debut of AEW Collision, AEW Thunder, coming up on Saturday. And the return that surprised absolutely nobody, including Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles from the grave, CM Punk will be back in AEW. Oh, yeah. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But Yeah, there's a pay-per-view coming up on Sunday. It's Double or Nothing. It's the biggest show of the year for AEW, right, ladies and gentlemen? Live from the T-Mobile Arena in Paradise, Nevada. There's 9 matches on this card, and we'll be going over that in just a little bit. But first, there's stuff to discuss here. And we're going to discuss a little bit about what happened last night on AEW and talk about what happened on Dynamite for this repugned go-home show that averaged just about the same amount of views as it does each and every single week, even though people tell me that we're going to get back to a ratings war with AEW and WWE. The show last night started off as it usually always does with Orange Cassidy in an international Who Gives a Shit About Me championship match with the one and only Kyle Fletcher from Aussie Open. I hate it. It makes my skin crawl. It makes me, I get a bad taste in my mouth when I have to see these elongated 20-minute pocket matches with New Japan guys, and he just plows through these guys like he's the next Shawn Michaels. And like, I'm supposed to take this guy seriously as a main event wrestler. I'm not gonna take away from him for the fact that he's a cool dude. He's got a connection with the audience. Even though the gimmick doesn't mean two shits to me, I don't care for it. I'm not gonna besmirch the guy's name like Jake Cornette will. I will say he's an outlaw mud show freak, but besides that, I don't have nothing personal against Orange Cassidy. I'm just not a fan of the gimmick. And I can't take it seriously when Tony Khan shoves this guy down my throat. And the biggest reason of all, outside the gimmick, is that he's a generic wrestler. And there's nothing unique to his wrestling style outside of his stupid little fucking shin kicks. It's nothing new that I see from Wheeler Useless or Times New Roman Font or anybody else on this roster. It's a generic wrestler having the same match that everybody else does on the entire show. So here's the deal. Hawkins retains the title for a 17-minute match. Shocker, right? Then from there, not only that, he wins by a small package, right? So in this match, you got tornado DDTs. What? Kyle Fletcher does the thing where he does a pile driver, then does a spinning tombstone pile driver, right? Kicks out. Does an avalanche Michinoku driver kick out. Orange Cassidy, he does his little spinning DDT and goes for the orange punch, and he's like, it's supposed to be devastating like Roman Reigns, because we think in Tony Khan's eyes, he'll tell you the audience that Orange Cassidy is on the same level as Roman Reigns. It's the only reason why he does the orange punch. Yeah, it has a nice little tie-in because his name's Orange Cassidy, so you attach orange punch to it. But really, for being honest, Orange Cassidy is only doing the Superman punch because it's AEW's obsession to point out things in WWE. But let me be a reminder to each and every single one of you that pockets will never, and I mean never, be on the same level as Roman Reigns. All right, let's go to the next part of this show. This 4-pillar build-up, right? Cut up this big main event, a 4-pillar main event for the World Championship. And in this one promo right here, I'm going to illustrate why MJF is the only star that's benefiting, and in some ways is not benefiting from this feud. So we'll take you to last night's Dynamite, and let's hear what MJF had to say last night on TBS.
With the cards stacked against you, heading into Double or Nothing, I'll tell you how I feel. I feel like I want Sammy Guevara to keep shoving his tongue out until it goes into a light socket. I feel like I want Darby Allin to have his wish granted of climbing Mount Everest with his shoelaces untied. I feel like I want Jungle Boy Jack Perry to get thrown into an echo chamber and be forced to speak. That way he could bore himself to death.
But unlike you disgusting low-life pores, I'm intelligent. I am fully aware of how important and monumental this matchup is heading into this Sunday. The four of us, the main event of the pay-per-view for a world title. A lot of people like to throw around the word homegrown. Well, it doesn't get more homegrown than us. We have been here since day one, and unlike some of your faves, we didn't have the cheat code of being on national television prior. 4 years ago, you people didn't know who we were. 4 years later, we have beaten the best this sport has to offer. 4 years later, we have given you the best matches and the best moments in the history of this company. We aren't just a part of AEW. God damn it, we are AEW. However, I don't want to be anymore, to be perfectly honest. To be honest, I'm kind of bored around here. I'm kind of sick of this place. I'm sick of the lack of competition. I'm sick of the lack of competency. And most of all, I am sick of the AEW fans not showing me the respect I so greatly deserve. And Tony Khan knows that. Tony Khan also knows Daddy's contract's coming up. Oh, you guys don't like when I bring that up. It makes you upset, right? Well, facts are facts. You think it's a cute little coinky-dink? I find myself wrestling 3 other men, and I don't even have to get pinned to lose my belt? Huh? Tony Khan and all of you are hitting the panic button because you desperately want somebody to take the triple B off of me, don't you, yeah? Is that right? Well, guess what? Guess what? You should be worried, because I just may take my ball and go home. Because this is my ball. I earned this ball. I took this ball, and I have run with it faster than anyone can keep up around here. And this Sunday...
Again, I posed the question, what else there needs to be said? Like, seriously, what else is there to need to be said? This dude is on another level. I put a tweet out earlier today. I'm kind of proud of this because I've been rewatching The Last Dance a little bit. By the way, LeBron fans, if you need a reminder of what a GOAT looks like, why don't you fire up Netflix and watch The Last Dance and get back at me, all right? So if you think about it, if you use the 90s Bulls in the comparison to this 4 Pillars match at Double or Nothing, here's how it goes. MJF, Michael Jordan. If you watch The Last Dance, you'll understand why I put these people where they are. Darby Allin, Scott Burrell, Sammy Guevara, Craig Hodges, and Jungle Boy Jack Perry, the most boring promo on God's green earth, Judd Butchler. I rest my case. Those 3 minutes right there, this shows you the difference and the levels where MJF is at, and you have 2 spot monkeys. One of them is a literal douchebag who thinks he's still in high school, and the other one is a two-faced dipshit. And then we got Darby Allin, and the only reason I put Scott Burrell as Darby Allin because MJF picks on Darby Allin the same way Michael picked on Scott Burrell. That's why I put Darby Allin there. By the way, for those who don't know, I'm a fan of Darby Allin. I've always been a fan of Darby Allin. But if we're going to use this 90s Bull reference, he is Scott Burrell. MJF is on another level. And no, don't tell me Darby Allin is Dennis Rodman because they have weird outfits and looks. It's not the reason I put it. If you watch The Last Dance, you'll understand. And I really put some thought to it because I've actually paid attention to this storyline. You would think about it, right? This is a cool concept. 4 young stars, 4 uprising stars, right? The 4 pillars of AEW. This whole buildup, just like the build for this pay-per-view in general, has been a complete and utter flop. Speaking of flops, how about CM Punk's first run in AEW? I'm going to play another clip here. This comes from Aaron Bischoff from last week's edition of Strictly Business. Let's hear what Bischoff has to say right here. Let me pull this up for a second. StreamYard, you are a beauty. All right, here we go. I got it right here.
Obviously, somebody in TBS programming knows something or believes something that I don't know or believe, but that's a tough spot. And then you add the clown car antics surrounding CM Punk and the announcement and the unannouncement and all that. They're stepping into a very difficult time period, day part, Saturday night. They're stepping into it awkwardly with all the buildup and the hype and the speculation about CM Punk being the center of the show and all that. And now they're sending out press releases saying CM Punk's not affiliated with the product. That is not the right way to debut a show. That I can tell you. So I'm not negative about it. I think realistic about it, hopeful for the team at AEW, but it is not without challenges.
Boom. Bischoff, don't lie. So, I mean, there's really not much to add on here. I mean, I talked a little bit about Sabu. He came out during the contract signing. And this is the sucky part, right? AEW can't help itself, even when good stuff is going on. Like, I like what Adam Cole does. I mean, I'm a fan of the guy, and I think he cuts really good promos. And the contract signing itself was fine. But, out comes Sabu. You got 5 people, right? They're making this whole point, right? Like, you got 5 stooges. You got Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. There's a mismatch here. Here's the solution. A 50-plus-year-old racist guy that could barely walk to the ring. And we're supposed to be scared because he still throws chairs at people at flea market wrestling shows. What are we doing here? Far be it for Chris Jericho to put morals to the side for the people he works with, right? Everybody wants to talk about CM Punk being a bad guy. Hey, we have Chris Jericho, Ron DeSantis in professional wrestling, the guy who his wife participated in the January 6th attacks, but that's another story for another time. So I wouldn't put it past Chris Jericho to bring Sabu with a racist background. And here's the thing, like, I feel like, what's wrong with this? Chris and Sabu have history with each other in ECW. Motherfucker, that was 25 or 28 years ago. Who gives a shit? A feud that probably went on almost 30 years ago before Jericho went to WCW. It wasn't like Chris Jericho was this long mainstay in ECW. Yeah, he had a couple spot matches here and there. But, okay, because Jericho and Sabu had, maybe 1 or 2 matches in ECW. We're all supposed to remember that, like freaking Stat Boy Tony in the back. Hey, Tony, you're not the only one with a Rain Man memory. I could do that too. But I'm not going to sit here and insult the intelligence of our audience where you are painting a scenario. We have 5 heels against 2 baby faces, and we have this old-ass man who should do nothing with wrestling anymore because his body is broken to shreds at this point. You have him coming out and he's going to be the special enforcer? What I saw right there was all window dressing, and this is the warning. Chris Jericho will beat Adam Cole at Double or Nothing. And you can thank Tony Khan for that. Stupid. Dumb. Part for the course for AEW. another dumb part of the show, like, okay, we get this whole thing where I'm supposed to take, the House of Torture U.S. edition, the Blackpool Cuckold Club. I'm supposed to take them seriously, right? And they do this heel promo, fine, whatever. Moxley, ooh, I'm supposed to be scared. What? I'm John Moxley. I come out the Wild thing because I think I'm Charlie Sheen. And look at me, man. I bleed, man. I can't take Moxley seriously, man. I just can't. I can't do it. Seriously, every time I think of Moxley coming out of that damn Wild Thing song, it makes me want to pull out that clip from Major League 2 where he's like, Wild Thing, you make my butt sting. I detest you. You're all garbage. Back of the truck. Back it up. Oh, man. Okay, I get it. You want to do the backstage promo to hype up this Anarchy in the Butt Show match, whatever. No problem. And then later on tonight, here's the main event for your go-home show, right? For your biggest show of the year. It's a tag team title match for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles. It's Cesaro and Wheeler Useless against the Lucha Brothers. Think about this. Your biggest show of the year. Your last match on your flagship show is for Ring of Honor's World Tag Team titles. By the way, speaking of Ring of Honor, don't think that I forget. I see everything. So, they scrapped AEW Dark and Elevation from YouTube, right? And now ROH is turning into Dark. I saw that. 19 matches. 19 matches. Mamma mia, man. This is what happens when you have a message board geek as your matchmaker, creative. Like, this is what we get. This is what we get. Then from there, the Young Bucks cost Cesaro and Useless the match. And they're supposed to have the standoff. And it's weird, like, Moxley comes out and he's cutting a promo like a babyface. Like 90 minutes earlier in the show, you're cutting a heel promo. Like, one, who am I supposed to cheer for in this feud? And two, why should I care? Why? Because they're going to bleed? Oh, they're going to... A John Moxley match on pay-per-view, and he's not bleeding? Is hell frozen over? Anybody that's telling you that this group is the best heel faction in wrestling, they're only telling you that it's because these three guys are not in WWE. It's not really on their own merit. If you really think about it, the booking for Cesaro and especially Karen Danielson since they joined AEW, it's been complete and utter hog shit. Good thing for Brian that he's had some matches here and there that have been barn burners like Hangman Page, Olivier at Arthur Ashe Stadium, or the MGF match at Revolution. I'm not taking away what Brian has done in the ring. Of course, he's done some really good stuff. But as far as programs and character development and storylines since he's joined in AEW, now we're hearing that he's part of the creative team. It's been complete and utter dog shit since he's joined AEW. He's done as much heel turns as Big Show's done. He's leading a group where he didn't even care that he was a part of the group for 6 months when he initially joined the group. When he initially came up with the idea with the group. Couldn't care less. He didn't want nothing to do with them. Wanted to wear the Blackpool Cuckold Club gear. It had nothing to do with the guys on TV for 6 months. Out goes William Regal. Now he cares. And I'm supposed to be taking Bryan Danielson seriously because he does color commentary with 3 crappy announcers that shouldn't be there in the first place. Like, stop falling for the bullshit, guys. Like, seriously, it's a bad look. It really is. So, why should I care for Double or Nothing? I don't. Let's take a swig of water before we make our predictions here. Oh, yeah. Good, refreshing H2O, right? I had to take a swig of water because we got to get to this excrement impression. So let's get into it. Coming to you live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's the 2023 edition of AEW Double or Nothing. At first, it's an unsanctioned match with Sabu serving as a special guest enforcer. It's Adam Cole taking on Chris Jericho. From there, it's a 6-man tag team match. If the Hardy wins, Matt Hardy will own Ethan Page's contract. It's Ethan Page and the Guns taking on the team of the Hardys and Hook. From there, Jade Cargill puts her AEW TS Championship on the line against Taya Valkyrie. It's Anarchy in the Arena as the Blackpool Combat Club takes on the Elites. From there, we have Jamie Hayter putting her AEW Women's World Championship on the line against Toni Storm. From there, we have the 21-man Battle Royal for the AEW International Championship. Here are the participants. We have the champion, Orange Cassidy. What? Ricky Starks. What? The Butcher. What? The Blade. What? Bandito. What? Commander. What? Liam Moriarty. What? Big Bill. What? Arya Davari. Who gives a fuck about me? What? Tony Nese. Chuck Taylor. Trey Beretta, the best friends. What? Times New Roman Font. What? Ray Phoenix. What? Pentagon Jr. What? Swerve Strickland. Oh, I forgot he's still on the roster. What? Brian Cage. What? Jay White. Repeat. Jay White in this Mud Show Battle Royal. What? Rock Hard Juice Robinson. What? Keith Lee. What? And Dustin Rhodes. From there, we have a ladder match for the AEW TNT Championship. It's Wardlow taking on Christian Cage. We have Arn Anderson and Luchasaurus at ringside. And from there, it's for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. It's FTR taking on Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Mark Briscoe will be the special guest referee. And our main event, it's the Four Pillars main event. It's the Fatal 4-Way match for the AEW World Championship. It's MJF taking on Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, and two-faced dipshit Jungle Boy Jack Perry. More matches to be announced on Twitter. Make sure to follow Tony Khan at Twitter at TonyKhan and get all your tickets right now at AWTIX.com. Repeat, that's AWTIX.com. I just ran over this Mud Show card, and this is what I have to say about AEW and this pay-per-view.
One word that people were using that was really...
Oh, excuse me. Wrong clip.
This has been What the Hell is Wrong with AEW.
My God. Have mercy on my soul. Have mercy on my soul. All right. Let's wrap the show with a bang, shall we? It's time for the CLAHN of the week. We have a combo platter here. I'm going to make this short and brief. First, we have our first female CLAHN of the week. Congratulations go out to Charlie Arnold. Yes, even though Good Waterfall is not excluded from being the CLAHN of the week. That's right, Charlie Arnold. Go on Twitter, see her comments, and you'll understand why she is a CLAHN of the week. And the other CLAHN of the week, David Montgomery. You know what's funny about him? He said that he feels more appreciated being in the culture of the Detroit Lions besides the Chicago Bears. Repeat, he said that he's being more appreciated by the brand new Lions than the Chicago Bears. My God. What are you talking about? That's like saying T. Higgins is like, man, it's so much better to be appreciated by the Cleveland Browns than what he has with the Cincinnati Bengals. What in the blue fuck are you talking about? Who in God's green earth would ever say that Detroit is a bigger upgrade than Chicago? You, my friend, are a CLAHN. I don't care that you're in your feelings because you didn't get paid $20 million as a running back. You're not worth that money. And by the way, you're the second string running back on Detroit. So what are you pissing and moaning about? Oh, if you thought you were being appreciated, why aren't you first string? You CLAHN? You stupid CLAHN? Him saying that is grade A, homogenized, Holstein, Walmart, backyard bullshit. David Montgomery, my man, you are nothing more than a CLAHN. So, a combo platter for the CLAHN of the week goes to Charlie Allnut, a.k.a. formerly known as Charlie Caruso, and David Montgomery of the brand new Lions. Like, seriously, whoever would say going to Detroit is an upgrade over Chicago? I don't care if it's sports related or not. Who would ever say that? That's like saying, pardon me, using a phrase from Joe Noah back in the day. I didn't hear anybody ever say, I want to go to Cleveland for vacation. Who would ever say, I would consider Detroit over an upgrade than Chicago? That is ridiculous. On that note, that concludes this week's edition of the Hoots Podcast. I want to thank each and every single one of you for hanging out with me tonight. This is our final episode in this apartment, the home base of the Hoots Podcast since day one. Last time in the Good Brothers studio. We're going to come up with a new name. I'm open to suggestions, but this has been a fun experience. I'm going to miss this place. It's been a lot of great memories, and I think it's kind of apropos that it was just me tonight, signing off here in the Good Brothers studio one last time. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I know I did. I hope we were able to make you laugh a little bit today. And there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. It's a very busy wrestling weekend. So make sure you enjoy Night of Champions. Why? Make sure to enjoy Double or Nothing. Why? Make sure to enjoy NXT Battleground. Why? I couldn't forget tomorrow's Impact Under Siege. Why? Make sure to enjoy wrestling. Remember, folks, be the authentic product that is yourself. And remember, nobody dictates and pays your life for yourself. And the man upstairs. I love you guys. I'm Joshie. You can follow me on Twitter at the Hoots Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our channels because we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube. Make sure to follow us on Spotify. Share the Spotify links to your friends so we can help expand not only the reach show, but we can qualify for ambassador ads on that end as well. But for everybody, I'm Joshie. This has been episode 362 of the Hoots Podcast. The road to 400 continues. I love you guys. We'll talk to y'all next week. Yes, sir.